And Jesus said to his disciples, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." It's from the 14th chapter of John, the New Testament, the Christian Bible. You're tuned into the Time Capsule. It's Monday. It's October 17th, 2022. We're doing something a little different on the Time Capsule today. We're going to talk about the afterlife. Life after death. What are your thoughts on the afterlife? What do you believe? Leave a comment. Subscribe. I've had a lot of death occur in my life in the last couple of years, but I've been lucky enough to have some experiences, some dreams, to be specific. Some dreams I had that gave me a clearer perspective, you could say, in the afterlife and life after death. And I've told some people about these dreams because obviously they made a big impact on me. They meant a lot to me. They kind of shape how I look at life on a day-to-day basis. And so yeah, I thought I'd share them with you here, and just thought I'd share them with my time capsule, so I'd have a record of them and can look back and have something to remember those memories by, just in case maybe one day I can't remember. That happens a lot these days. Dementia as you get older, so maybe that's one purpose for this time capsule. Maybe it served for memories for myself down the road to help me remember what I was like back in the day. Kind of dark in the studio today. I don't know, always trying different things, trying a little different lighting setup. Let me try something else here because it is kind of dark. Green, blue, aqua, yellow, blue, green, red. It's kind of, maybe we can brighten it up too. It's not bad. Whoa, it's too bright. That's too dark. That's about right. I just don't like the color. I wanted some color today. Maybe. We'll go with that. Alright, so dreams. Back to this dream I had. What dream are you talking about, Nate? And why'd you start it off with John 14? Well, let me start from take you back to when I had this dream. It was sometime about maybe 12 years ago, or maybe around 2010, 2009. And I don't remember anything specific occurring at the time. I was chilling, living life. Things were going good. Maybe not the best, but I was, had no complaints. And it was a weekend. It was an early one Sunday morning. And I was in that REM state, rapid eye movement, dreaming. I remember having a dream where I was walking down a street, kind of walking through into a cul-de-sac. There weren't any other houses around. They were all empty lots, and there was just one house on this cul-de-sac. And I kind of recognized the house. It looked familiar. It looked like the house of our music director at the church we went to. Which I don't know, might play some significance. He was not just the music director at our church, but he's also a very good family friend. Known the family since he was a child. So I walk up to the house, walk inside, and I see my family. Aunts, uncles, my great-grandmother. She's just back in the kitchen making some green beans. I was like, are you serious? Grandma's green beans? Great-grandma's green beans? I get to have those again? Like, let's get it on. And immediately I was struck with the idea of John chapter 14, where Jesus talks about, I go to, prepare a place for you, a dwelling. Some versions of the Bible call it a mansion. My Father's house has many mansions. So you get this idea of, maybe what heaven could be like, and that there's this, place waiting for you, some type of house or a mansion where you go and you're reunited with all of your family members who've gone on before you, your family, friends, maybe even your dog. Do all doggies go to heaven? I don't know. Where do they go? What happens to their soul? Do you believe dogs have a soul? Leave a comment, subscribe. So I immediately had this thought, and I was like, this is where I'm at. I'm in heaven. Because I was also immediately noticing that all the relatives I was seeing weren't the ones that were alive. They were ones that had already passed on. Elder aunts and uncles. And again, my great-grandmother, who died many years ago. And there were some other people there that I kind of didn't really take as much notice of because I didn't maybe recognize them. I didn't know who they were. But there were a lot of people there in the house. It was crowded. It was like, it was like a family reunion, like a get-together on a Sunday afternoon. Like I remember it at Grandma's house, after church, everybody getting together, having a big lunch. And it had been a long time since I had experienced that, had a feeling like that, and felt very, warm and comforting and at ease, and felt like I was supposed to be there. And I remember also, being in the house, everyone there, conversating, and then looking out the front window and seeing a car pull up and some other relatives get out of the car. And these were relatives that were still living. They never made it inside the house. They were just kind of outside talking in the street. I think they were going to come in the house at some point, but they were still kind of, I don't know, out doing their thing. And that's really not important. I just included that for maybe a later dissection of that dream and analysis, because maybe that means something. It was like, everybody that had passed and was technically in heaven was inside the house, and the people that were yet to make it there were still outside, looking to find their way into the party. And for some reason, I'd been allowed to come in and check it out. And I was really thrilled and excited and having the time of my life. But it didn't last long, like most dreams. Just without warning, woke up and it was over. That was it. And I was wide awake. It had been a long time since I had had a dream that was so vivid and just felt so real. And again, vivid in the terms also that, you feel like you're there. You think this is happening. And one of the reasons, one of the things that makes a vivid dream, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, is that I was having thoughts. I was processing ideas and thoughts in the dream. I wasn't just watching things like a movie or a TV show. A lot of times dreams are like that. You're just kind of sitting there experiencing it and watching things go by. I was actually living the dream. I was thinking about things, and I was like, again, I had the thought of, this is John 14. This is Jesus talking about, this is the mansion that he talked about preparing for me. This is it. I'm here. I'm seeing it. This is the promise. He came through. He wasn't lying. And just like he says later in that chapter, everything else I said, is true. What, you're not going to believe this? He's like, I'm telling you, believe it. Get ready. That's where I'm going. And you're coming too. I'm going to come back and get you. So yeah, it was just, kind of one of those things that, not that I needed it at that time, but, maybe for moments like this in my life, just some reassurance that, there is something later on, and there is comfort, and it's not just darkness. It's not game over. There's something else. And, so that was just, the beginning though. As I said, I woke up, heart kind of racing, wide awake, and within seconds of me waking up, my phone started ringing. And which normally my phone's normally not ringing that early on a weekend, and normally I would just not answer it. Just especially if it was across the room, I would typically just let it ring and maybe check it later, see who called. But being the fact that I was wide awake and from this dream, I got up, ran over, and picked up the phone. Jesus? Is that was Jesus calling? No, it wasn't Jesus. It was actually my mamaw. My mamaw was calling. My maternal grandmother, who was calling to ask if her grandson wanted to go to church. Hello, grandson. Hey, mamaw. Just seeing if you want to go to church with me this morning. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's it's a funny thing you called. I think it'd be a good morning for me to go to church, as a matter of fact. So she was already on her way going to Sunday school, as she always did, every Sunday. And I started getting ready and made my way there to meet her for big church. Big church, that's what we used to call it when we were growing up. So yeah, went and met her at church. We walked in and didn't sit in our typical spot. We usually would sit towards the left, down towards the front, kind of as a comfortable little spot, have a clear view. But that day we sat right in the middle, got an even clearer view. Just not in the front, more towards the back, but it was just the wide panoramic version, cinematic view. That's what it was. God was setting me up with the cinematic version of what he was about to show me. So yeah, it was a special morning. I was feeling good because I had just had this dream where I felt, God had shown me that his promise in John 14 was true, that there is a place where we go and find comfort with the ones we love and with God and yeah, live happily ever after, right? And I thought that was it. So we're sitting there. Preacher walks in, pulls out his Bible, sets it down on the podium. And again, it was an unusual morning, typically for many reasons, as I just described, but then also for this. He usually starts off his sermon with a joke, kind of Joel Osteen style, kind of warm the crowd up, kind of, usually a dad type joke, some kind of corny, kind of cheesy. And he didn't do that this morning. He walked up, sat his Bible down, and just jumped straight into it. And he said, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you." He read the exact same verse. Out of all the verses in the Bible, he picked the one line I had been dreaming about that morning. I don't know. You could say that's a series of very unlikely coincidences. You should go buy a lotto ticket. I see it as a direct message from a higher source, higher power, somebody trying to get my attention. So yeah, that was the dream, and not just the dream, but the series of events that occurred afterwards that really affected me and made me appreciate life, made me appreciate my family, my friends, and but also not, when they're not around, when they can't be here anymore, not get wrapped up in the idea that I'm never going to see him again. I think I will. So, do we want to talk about anything else today? Or are we just going to make it a short episode, a short segment of the time capsule? I'm hoping we got this one right. I've tried to record this like 4 or 5 times, tried to record it over the weekend, had a lot of issues, some sound issues, forgot to plug in the microphone once. And as I'm recording this one, my dog starts barking. That's awesome. He's always barking. I don't know what he was barking at. Probably the neighbor. So I'm hoping this recording is salvageable. If not, I guess we'll try again. Something keeps trying to prevent me from getting this on tape, but I'm determined to get it out there. I don't know why. Something tells me maybe somebody else needed to hear this. So if not, I know I did. I needed to get it out. Feels good to talk again. Wasn't talking enough. And again, that's another reason for the time capsule. Just to maybe get my brain cranking again a little more. Things were getting a little stale. So maybe I should share with you what I did over the weekend. You got time for that? Got a few minutes? I went to recording of a music video, of all things. Artist by the name of Baby Bash. You know this guy? Remember this guy? Baby Bash? What was that song? Sugar, Sugar? That's Sugar, Sugar, how you get some? Yeah. I don't know if he was a one-hit wonder. Maybe he had 2 hits. I don't know. I do remember his name used to be Baby Bish, B-I-S-H. And I think people might have been clowning on him for that, and so they changed the I to an A, so it didn't sound as much like So Baby Bash, and he was out there sitting in a lowrider with some chick recording a video. There were a bunch of lowriders. I got took my new camera out there and got a bunch of cool pics of a bunch of Impalas and some other cars, some lowrider bikes, some of the crowd. We got some of those pictures in the studio. Can y'all roll those? Can we see what we saw yesterday? Yeah. But it was cool. We had a good time. Was out there for a few hours. I wish I would have stayed a little longer, but I mean, I was kind of dehydrated. I'd been out there in the sun a while shooting pictures. My camera actually ran out of juice. Batteries died. I didn't have a backup battery. I need to order one of those. Reminder. Chick. And I was just tired. I was ready to go. But I would have liked to have stayed and gotten some more pictures, because then they really started coming out, and the underglow was getting turned on. So I wish I would have got some night shots. Didn't get to do that, and maybe there'll be another opportunity for a music video soon. You never know. It's Houston, Texas. Somebody's always shooting a video. We'll find something. We're checking out those pictures still. No, we're back. What else do we do this weekend? Hang out with some old friends, Saturday. Did we go to an art show? No, that was the weekend before. We went to a Halloween party. Yeah, now I remember. Went to a Halloween party down the street. Guy was throwing that a buddy of mine knew. Actually, my barber buddy, who's become a good friend of mine. He knew this guy. They're having a party at the Knights of Columbus Hall, of all places. They rented that out, and they were having a party there. And a few people in some costumes. It wasn't a big crowd. DJ was really good, though. I'll give you that. They were playing some good music. And the DJs were really good at the event yesterday. What were they called? Did you see it in the pictures? Something Boulevard, Chicano Boulevard? Was that it? Man, I guess it's something. Is it a group of DJs? I need to find out more about them. My friend was trying to tell me. They were playing some really good music. That was a good time yesterday, all weekend. So yeah, it was good to get out, good to do some different things. Haven't made any plans yet for the upcoming weekend. But what I do plan on doing is telling you more about a couple other dreams that I've had that also relate to life after death, and what they've meant to me, and again how they help me in dealing with a lot of these deaths that I've been experiencing over the last couple years. If you don't know, it all started a couple years ago with my grandmother, who I just talked about in the story, my mamaw. Year after that, my dog died, Rockefeller. I had him for 10 years. He was my best friend, my pal, my road dog. He was my little boy. I don't have any kids. He was the closest thing I've ever had to a son, So, about a month after, there's my new dog. I'll get to meet him here soon eventually. I don't know if you can hear him barking. But, about a month after I lost Rockefeller, unfortunately, I lost my father. He passed away. A few months after him, my other grandmother, my dad's mom, she passed away. My neighbor, who I was friends with, hadn't known her long. Just met her whenever I moved in here. But she was awesome. And that was, again, tragic and unexpected. Then there have been some other deaths, some other friends who had died unexpectedly, and it's just been kind of a whirlwind this past couple of years. But again, I find peace in knowing that there's a place where they're at that I'm going to see them again. So, yeah. Anyways, I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. My dog's getting on my nerves. I'm going to introduce you to him maybe in the next episode, and we'll talk about another dream. Until next time, I'm Nathan. We'll see you. We'll see you again soon. All right. Y'all take it easy. This is the Time Capsule. See you.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.